So the other circling back, you mentioned that you're working with all these influencers and getting things started. Have you done any customer interviews? Like, have you talked with users or customers? Like, have you done that first part, or are
Customers
you,
as in customers of the software.
like, have you
Yeah.
done wait lists and things like that?
We are building a wait list, but it's not huge. It's like less than 20 people at the moment, because all the conversations are one-on-one interviews. But we got the working demo done today. So I can finally pull it up on my phone and actually show people how it works, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, tiny wait list at the moment. And then for getting content, we have 4 scheduled calls this week with creators. And what we're doing is signing long-term monthly recurring contracts for them to make content for us, where we have distribution rights and paid advertising rights under their own account. So
But you're doing all of this before.
we're teeing it up for launch. So the contract is initiated in February, which is when the app is launching. You know what I mean? So right now we're the ones making and publishing all the content, but we're going to get like there's only so much volume that you can do it by yourself. Right. So what
So,
I want to do is get 10 creators initially starting February on
mhm.
contract to make between 1 to 4 videos a month, depending on their size and like how much we can afford. And then giving us advertising rights to all of those videos. So if it's on TikTok, it's a Spark code. And if it's on Instagram, it's adding the brand as a collaborator so that we can advertise using their following.
Okay. So, playing devil's advocate, what's the rationale behind in putting this amount of investment at the beginning? Or is this just like, is this what you're just doing for the beginning to figure out and attract users or?
I mean, I guess I don't see it as that much. Like, if you get 10 people on and you're paying them an average of $1,000 a month to make content for you, it's only $10,000 a month for a pretty big stream of creatives. And then if you're paying an average of, let's say, a $4 to $6 CPM, and our RPM is going to be $7 to $8, then it's going to hopefully more than break even just on the organic views before we run paid advertising.
Got it. Okay. So this is just your initial bet. Like, this is just you're putting 10K out there just to see kind of what action that you get.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
it's kind of guess. I mean, it's educated guesswork. I've watched so many podcasts of other people that are growing mobile apps, and this is basically what they do. You pay creators based on the projected CPM, what their engagement rate is, and then what that will translate to for click rate. And then over time, I will figure out what the conversion is from download to subscriber, how to mess with our paywalls to improve that conversion, how to adjust the pricing. So I think that I don't see a situation where it doesn't work, but I see a situation where it's not profitable at the beginning. But that's okay because we'll figure out over time what engagement rate we need the creators to have in order
Mhm.
for it to generate a high enough RPM for us to afford them to be able to pay to get the content.
That makes sense.
We'll
I
be
think
able
the
to
thing
figure out
I'm
our own conversion rates. It's like if you run paid ads for an ecom brand, you might get a zero point 0.2 ROAS. That doesn't mean it didn't work, it just means it's not profitable. You just have to continue iterating.
granted that you know that this is a product that somebody wants. And I think that's where I'm getting hung up on is
Mm.
like, have you talked with a dozen people and they've all validated the idea, saying that yes, I want to be a paying user of this, or yes, this
Yeah.
is something I need. Like, has that happened yet?
I mean, in a way, everybody that I know that I've shown the app to says yes, they'd be a paying user, but they're people that I know. So it's
Okay.
probably not the objective response that I need.
Have any of them, or is it even possible for them to be a paying customer yet?
No.
Okay. I think that's the first litmus test, because when I did that with you, you actually paid.
Hmm.
And to me, that was even a greater sign than just a random, because not only were you saying that it validated something that you were interested in at the time when you're running your agency, but you actually then paid for it truly, which is, like, I don't know. To me, that's just like a greater sign of it being effective than someone just being
No,
like,
I
oh, I
agree with
would.
you. Yeah, like getting somebody to actually pull out their credit card or double click on Apple Pay and pay for it is way more important. But
But a friend doing that, like a friend can support you and be great, but like then you actually having them send you money.
I can see that working in the B2B world where you can, like, when I was initially working on an agency marketplace, I'm like, oh, this is cool. I could hack it together in make.com and like make an MVP that would work. But there's not really a way of doing an MVP on a mobile app except for just doing it. Like, it has to be published, it has to be refined, it has to be something that you can download on the App Store and double click on Apple Pay. Like, there is no lightweight version of it other than you release it with its core functionality and then add on functionality later. So I guess other than like getting it on your phone and showing people the demo, I guess I don't know how else I would validate.
Well, and that's fair because I showed you a live demo of it working. You had the aha moment. Like, I'm just trying to, my concern is that not only for you, but everybody that's watching this recording, my concern for you is, oh, you're just spending all this money and you don't necessarily know how that might turn out.
Yeah.
And there might be a few things from my experience in the last couple of years that could possibly help alleviate some of that risk. Asterisk, you have money allocated for this thing. So to you, $10,000 not being a lot of money, to me, even at my level or like where the company's level is now, is like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. And I know everybody watching is be like, that's an absurd amount of money to just spend on influencers like upfront without knowing if it's going to quote unquote work or not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. There's probably more validation that I can do on the product.
Yeah,
I
but
think
then
I just haven't
again,
even doubted that it would work. I believe so strongly that it's a good idea, that it will work, that I guess it hasn't even crossed my mind that it wouldn't.
so, and let me just pull up this thread that I was reading this morning because this, I think it's very, very relevant to this. This guy was basically saying that they worked for, 2 years in stealth, building something. They released it, had this release party with, all these things and zero revenue. And they realized they spent all this time, all this money, and all this effort on building something that they wanted, but nobody else wanted.
Yeah.
And because I think, and again, this is all just coming from like me wanting you to succeed with this. And it's not to be like, no, don't do that, but just try to, perspective. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, but
No, that's helpful. That's helpful. Well, now that we have the working prototype, like literally finished today, I'll show it to some more people and just try to get their feedback on it.
so is that in like test flight or live app?
No, it's Figma.
Oh, in Figma. Got it.
Yep.
Interesting.
Cool. Well, that's good feedback. But either way, I think creator marketing and just getting a flow of content coming in is the method forward for any consumer product. Like, the only way to get volume, or the only way to get content, the only way to get distribution at scale is to get content from a bunch of different people that are connected to other people. Because everybody has a different audience. Like, you can definitely do it yourself and you should do it yourself. But I think speed to distribution increases when you have other people making content on your behalf and sharing it on their own channel.